Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is a Lorraine 39L AM. This is the Tier 3 French SPG, and it only has the 10.5cm French Court Billy gun, the 1935 or the 1934 if it's stock gun. I think this is actually the stock gun on this particular Lorraine. Well, it's being driven by John Kramer a cappella in this battle, and we're on the south spawn of Mines. Okay, the Su-18, which has got a fairly limited range, is moving a bit further closer to the hill, the good thing about the Lorraine is it's got fairly long range, and he's actually aiming at the other end of the battlefield at this moment. That 10.5cm gun has a good range on it. Okay, but there's closer targets. Medium 2. It's a lot closer. He can do a lot of damage to that. Tier 2 British medium. Round out. I think he was moving as he fired, actually. That would have hurt his accuracy. Now the 10.5cm gun will actually do a fair bit of damage to the enemy. It's got a, it can do an alpha damage of 410. Now that means he can basically one-shot most of the enemy if he hits them. But it does take a little while to dial in the aim. And that enemy is taken out before he can hit it. There's an M2 up on the hill. Diving down, he loses sight and he fires, but unfortunately he wasn't fully dialed in, so I doubt that he actually hit anything. Okay, they've lost sight of most of the enemy. The only one they can see is a medium 2, which is over on the island, and he seems to have done quite well. He's taken out the M2 light over there. Okay, Panzer 38T. He can definitely one-shot that if he can dial in the aim on it. Runs out. It stops, but he does splash it for 43 hit points and 1 critical hit. I think he's tracked it. He's reloading, but he's got a long reload, so unfortunately it's going to be a little while. And that Panzer 38T would have moved on by then. He needs to find a target that's stationary so he can hit it. Okay, T2 light moving rapidly though. He fires prematurely there, trying to get a shot as it's a tracking shot as it's moving, but unfortunately it doesn't, and the Panzer Jaeger takes out that T2 light. Panzer 38T, it's the same one he fired at earlier, heading south, but it's stopped. He's almost fully dialed in and rounds in and rounds out, and he gets a direct hit. Shows how much this gun is actually good if you dial it in fully. He's got 132 hit points with the second shot. It's a very powerful 10.5cm gun. This, of course, most of the guns that you're firing early on in the battle are very, very low calibers. But this has one of the higher ones. That and the Geschütz Panzer Mark 6, which was based on a captured British Vickers tank. They both got very powerful guns. Now the Lorraine 39L AM was actually a converted armoured personnel carrier. It would normally carry about 8 troops in the rear, a driver up front and a commander, the driver sitting just behind the engine. And so many of these vehicles were manufactured, or so many were produced by the French, And of course the Germans took them and converted them into artillery pieces. Some were used as troop carriers. And it looks like, yep, well, he fired, but he didn't get the desired result, because I think the target was taken out. The Su-18 has just taken out the enemy T1 HMC. The scores, they're 1 tank down at the moment. So yes, the Germans converted most of the the Lorraine 37Ls, which were the troop carriers, and they turned them into the Lorraine 39L with a 10.5 centimeter gun on top, because they needed as many artillery pieces as they could get. And the French actually carried on manufacturing them during the war, and the Germans took most of the ones that they captured. Now, funnily enough, it was such a durable vehicle that several of these vehicles were found in Syria and other places in the Middle East, still around nearly 40 or 50 years after the end of the Second World War. And I think they were picked up cheap by the local forces and utilised as almost static Arty. Okay, we've got an M2. He's sitting on that corner. He fired that round before he was fully dialed in, and the round overshot. The Su-18 fired it more accurately, but there's an enemy coming in there, an IKV-72. It's a tank destroyer. Unfortunately, he's just taken out the Su-18, who was in his plain sight. They're down to 4 tanks now. The enemy has still got 8 tanks. And we've got somebody up on the hill spotting. And the IKV-72 is getting very close. The Swedish tank destroyer, very flat, very low. He's dialing in his aim. He should be able to hit it accurately if he can get it aimed just right. Round out, and he gets a kill shot. Yep, he's taken out the IKV. In actual fact, no, it wasn't him. It was the T-18 HMC who got the kill shot. He fired at it and it died at the same moment, so he just missed out on a kill there. Now, there's the M2 firing from the top of the hill. Round out, and he gets a kill this time. He takes out the M2 on top of the hill, but that M2 will know that he's here now, so he's going to have to move away because the enemy might try to hit him. In fact, now he's all alone. The T-18 was taken out by the enemy Sexton. Now that Sexton will probably try to take out John Kramer. Now he's going to have to face all of these enemies on his own. The M2, that's the same M2 he fired at earlier in the game. He fires a shot, and this time he gets him! Shotgun. Well, in fact, actually it wasn't shotgun, but it was close range artillery aiming. He did aim at it. He's pulled back, which is a very wise decision, because I'm pretty sure that Sexton will fire at this position. And somebody is in the cap. Now, he's almost reloaded. He's reloaded now. And he kills the IKV-72 at close range. Again, overhead aiming, but using the battle assistant, but basically a shotgun. Okay, there's still 4 enemy. If he can survive this, he gets the Kolobanov. It's pretty amazing, actually. He's almost reloaded. Right, he's reloaded. Now, 3 light tanks, a BT-2, a Cruiser 1, and an L-60. They can all pen him. They can all do damage. And the Sexton 2, most of all, it's got quite a powerful Arty. He's got 4 kills already. Waiting for them to turn up. Of course, to get to him, they'll probably have to travel through the cap, and that will, of course, give him advance warning that they're close. But he can use this building as a shield. The Sexton can't fire at him whilst he's behind this building. The shells will hit the roof of the building, but they won't hit him. And if he tries to, they try to shoot from the other angle, that rock will protect him. So he's counting on the enemy coming down towards the cap. Now, going to the bush will allow him to aim at distance. Now, the enemy are firing at where they think he is, but they're hitting the shed. So he's decided to back off again, get back into cover. He needs to be careful not to go too close to the building, because he could flip himself over. Now, somebody's in the cap, so somebody's close. It's the Cruiser 1. Now, they're probably going to try and do the same. Come around the corner. He's being a bit cautious. And he shotguns him! And it's 170 hit points. That gun is just so powerful at 10.5 centimeter. As I said, it does a 410 alpha damage. He can one-shot any of the enemy. So now there's only 3 enemy left. He's got 5 kills. If he gets 1 more, he's got a top gun, and that will mitigate if he loses out. He would get a Courageous Resistance award even if he lost, and that would compensate him. But he certainly seems to know how he's what he's doing with this Arty. I've done fairly well in this Arty myself, but certainly not in the stock gun. That is the stock gun. That is the 105 Court Milli 1935. It's got a fairly bad accuracy as well, dispersion of 0.84, so it's horrendous compared to the higher tier Arties. But at close range, it is pretty lethal. Now, another problem that he's got here is he's got so many wrecks around him. They were basically obstructing his field of fire, and he's got 3 minutes 36 seconds on the clock. See that the Lorraine actually has its engine up front, and there's that little plate at the front of the Arty is actually for the driver. Now he's spotted the Sexton. There's the Sexton. He's dialing in the aim and he shotguns him at close range. 140 hit points. Wow, it's amazing. So there's only 2 enemy left, the BT2 and the L60. Carries on like this, he'll end up in the enemy cap. 2 minutes 51 seconds to go. He's going to need at least 1 minute 30 to cap out. This is a standard battle after all. So he must get into the cap in the next minute, or he won't be able to complete the cap in time. Well, the Lorraine is actually quite nippy. This is 37 kilometers per hour top speed, and considering this was an armoured personnel carrier, not an Arty when it was first designed, that's pretty good. Okay, still no sign of the others. We're looking for that BT2 and that L60. They must be somewhere else. There's the cap, the 2 minute warning. There's the BT2. He's still there. He's in the spawn area. He hasn't moved. And he fires at him, but he doesn't kill him one shot. I think it was because it was a glancing blow and it went into the tracks. But he's turning around and he's going to fire at him and into his rear. And he is capping at this moment. 1 minute 29 seconds to go. And he's got 1 minute 33 on the clock, so he can cap out. Now, he's going to kill this BT2. It's AFK. And he wipes it out. So now there's just 1 enemy, an L60. He's all on his own, in the cap, capturing the base. Now, where's that L60 gone? He's not in the spawn area, so he must have moved away. But he hasn't got any kills. And I don't think we've seen him. There's the minute warning. He's got 50 seconds left to complete the cap. So he's going to do it with 5 seconds to spare. I think it would be more advisable for him to actually hide in the bushes at the far end. At least that way he wouldn't be seen. He'd be in cover. But The Lorraine does have incredibly good camo. It's a very, very small Arty. Very small indeed. So it's already got a fairly good camo rating as it stands. 27 seconds left, but he's also got 20. Now the enemy's at the other end. He's capping. He's an idiot. He can't cap out. What is he doing over there? Oh dear, oh dear. It sounds to me like he's given up. And Peter's just said that he's from the Ukraine. So it's a Ukrainian player. And it looks like he's going to win. And he has won. That's absolutely brilliant. Well done. Because you know what that means, don't you? He's got a Kolobanov! And it's an ace tanker, unsurprisingly, for John Kramer, aka Pila, in the Lorraine 39L AM. He also picked up a Bruiser Medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12 in total. He picked up the Kolobanov for standing alone against 5 enemy. In fact, actually, I think he stood alone against 6. But he took out most of the tanks that went against him. He also picked up an Invader because he managed to win by capping out and got at least 80 cap points in the process. And of course he picked up a Top Gun because he managed to get more than 6 kills. In fact, he got 7 kills in total. Very, very well done. If we have a look at the team scores, we can see that he did 845 hit points of damage, which is the highest amount. He got the highest number of kills with 7, and he got the highest base XP of 849. He fired 19 rounds, got 7 direct hits, 7 penetration, 2 splash damage. He did damage of 845 hit points, of which 255 was at more than 300 meters. So it shows that most of the damage he did was at close range, where he shotgunned the enemy right in their faces. He spotted 3 enemy vehicles, he damaged 7, he killed 7, and he got 100 capture points in the base to win. On a premium account, he earned 20,430 credits. And after repair and ammunition resupply, he took away 17,993 credits. Now, anybody with a tier 5 vehicle will be quite happy with 17,000 or nearly 18,000 credits. But that's incredible for a tier 3 SPG. He earned 1,274 base XP on a premium count, and add another 382 for a personal missions payout, so he took away 1,656 experience points in total. But well done indeed, John Kramer. You actually proved that you don't have to have a high tier Arty or a high tier tank in order to win a Kolobanov. You can do it in a very low tier vehicle. And in fact, I should know, because my only Kolobanov under one of my other accounts is in a tier 2 vehicle. So I know it is possible to win a Kolobanov at very low tiers. But well done indeed for getting it in the Lorraine 39L AM. If you enjoyed this replay, please do give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. And hopefully I'll be featuring your replay in my next video.